ladies and gentlemen, I am the Pixelated Hippo, back at it with another video. In today's video, I'm going to do something a little different. It's going to be very unprofessional, probably have profanity, and yeah. So if you don't want to hear that, or you want more of a scripted video, this is probably not going to be the video for you. And if you're under a certain age, you probably should click off because I have a potty mouth. With that being said, I want to talk about Battlefield 6 today and a few of the issues I had with it, as well as some of the positives, and I just want to do that briefly while a clip that I recorded this morning is running in the background, and if the commentary does end before the clip, then the clip will continue until it ends. If you do enjoy this type of video, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, like, share, and subscribe to this video. It really helps me and it helps the channel. And I know everyone says that, but it does. So here we are, Battlefield 6. What issues could I possibly have with Battlefield 6? Well, first let's say this. This is the most fun I've had playing what is called a Battlefield game since Battlefield 4. And the reason why I say what is called Battlefield is because this does have elements that make it feel like Battlefield, but then it also has elements that make it feel more like a COD ripoff, or like they're trying to appeal to COD players. And everyone says that, and everyone's like, oh my god, they're not trying to appeal to COD, but I'll make the case on why they are in a moment. So first and foremost, my biggest issue with the game right now is the fact that it gets boring after like 20-30 minutes playing. And that's not me saying that this is essentially a bad game because of that, or it's boring because the game is bad, because I don't necessarily think that's the case. In fact, I believe this game is boring, or gets boring so quickly, is because all of the matches play the same and the gameplay or the combat is essentially the same. I'll explain. So each match, I would say, probably goes about 20 minutes. I think that's the timer you get on Conquest. And, you know, people are like, oh, 20 minutes, that's a long time. In the gaming world, in the realm of gaming, no, it's not. These matches are way too quick and way too similar. And this is what makes the game boring or unappealing after a certain amount of time. If I'm spending an hour on this game, I've played 3 matches, and all of them are relatively the same, and they end quickly, it's fucking boring. Battlefield is known for being all-out warfare, and we don't have much of all-out warfare here at all. Now, they did bring back Operation Firestorm, but in my 8 hours of playing, I only got to play on that once, and it was midway through the match, and the team was pretty much locked down to one flag. We weren't moving. So it wasn't enjoyable. I didn't really see any tanks or helicopters on our side. Either they stole our vehicles, or their air superiority was so good that we just couldn't do anything, and that happens. But the point is this should be the experience for most of the game, but it's not the experience that I've had with this game so far. Most of my matches are infantry focused. Even on the larger medium-sized maps, I rarely am in vehicles, I rarely see vehicles, there's rarely vehicle combat. Most of it is infantry focused. At first I thought it was because the maps were too small, and that might be the case. That might partially be the case, but more or less I think it's designed like that, intentionally designed like that to appeal to players that play COD, which is an infantry focused game. This is Battlefield. It should be all-out warfare, but for the most part it's non-existent. It's just infantry combat again and again and again, each and every match, and that's great and everything like that. But that gets boring after a while. And you know what? To be totally fair, we may get larger maps in the future of this title. There's a good foundation here. They have a chance to expand upwards. So we may get the larger maps in all-out warfare that we want and expect from Battlefield. And I'm not saying that we won't. But predominantly what we have right now are infantry-focused maps. I don't give a shit if they have vehicles, helicopters, or even jets. The way that these maps are designed is designed with infantry combat and to keep you in the action quickly. It's literally designed to keep you going non-stop, to keep the adrenaline high, which is literally the core design element behind COD. Non-stop, pulse-pounding action. It's literally their entire design philosophy. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but it's not what appeals to Battlefield players. Don't get me wrong, we love the intense gunfights and we love the infantry combat, but it's usually separated by downtime. Time that is used to resupply, gear up, prepare for the next enemy attack, or even traverse from flag to flag without constantly having to be in a gunfight or have your head on a swivel. There's usually a moment of reprieve in there while you gather and collect yourself before it gets chaotic again. In this game, that's not really the case. And I think the matches are about 20 minutes long. And in those 20 minutes, it's about 15 to 18 minutes of complete chaos, complete just anarchy everywhere. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's too much. It's too much chaos. It's hard to have an only in Battlefield moment when every moment is an only in Battlefield moment. It's just complete insanity. It's out of control, and it's kind of, actually it is exhausting. It's nonstop chaos, which is exhausting. I constantly have to be alert, constantly have to be on edge. It's a fucking Twitch shooter, and Battlefield is not meant to be a Twitch shooter. Speaking of Twitch shooters, these guns are like lasers. They hit whatever you're shooting at directly. There's no bullet drop, there's no bullet sway, there's no compensation, there's no skill to the weapons whatsoever. If you can react fast enough, you can hit your target, just like Call of Duty. And again, the more and more I talk about this, the more and more you see how they're trying to appeal to Call of Duty players. Like, when somebody is quick scoping with a fucking sniper in Battlefield, that's a big no for me, dog. No, that doesn't belong in Battlefield. One of the best things about Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 3 was that the game was easy to play but hard to master. And the reason why it was hard to master is you had to learn the weapons. You had to learn bullet drop, bullet compensation. You had to learn how to lead. Like, you couldn't snipe from 5 to 1,000 meters away and just instantly shoot at whatever you're directly pointing at. You had to compensate for the bullet drop and the distance. These things made sniping more of a skill-based thing that you would do, so not everyone could be sitting on a mountaintop somewhere or a rooftop somewhere sniping. Of course, you still had the people do it. You still had plenty of people on the top of a rooftop in Battlefield 4 trying to snipe people, but not everyone could do it, and not everyone could do it effectively, so not everyone tried to. This is more of a minor gripe of mine, but it just goes to show you that these weapons play a lot like the Call of Duty weapons, and it goes to show you that they're trying to appeal to a larger audience by making the guns approachable for everyone. And I'm not necessarily saying trying to appeal to everyone is a bad thing, but it really does lower the skill ceiling and the skill floor and kind of bring everyone closer together on a closer footing, so you don't really have any areas to improve using a particular weapon or gun or play style. Another thing that they did that really affects me and kind of pisses me off is that they kind of nerfed the RPG against infantry. And I play as an engineer, and I use an SMG most of the time. Even though there are other weapons available to me, I particularly like SMGs. I like the challenge that it gives me, the fact that I have to be a little bit better or play a little better or shoot a little bit better in order to get a kill in a one-to-one engagement versus someone using a little bit of a weapon. But because I use SMGs, they don't have the range needed to hit people at larger ranges. So how do I normally bridge this gap? Well, I pull out my RPG and I kind of use that as a sniper. And I hit the people that are shooting at me, such as snipers, from a distance with the RPG. Or usually I shoot one in their general direction and get a little bit of splash damage and make them have to move position. In this game, there's almost no splash damage from RPG on infantry soldiers, no matter how close you get it to them. And unless you directly hit them head on, you're not going to get a kill with the RPG. And this really bothers me because, again, the key thing I do to close the gap between me and enemies when I'm at a range that the SMG is ineffective is I shoot them with a fucking RPG. I can't do that anymore in this game without having to get a direct hit on somebody that's probably moving. And that is extremely hard. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, and I'm going to keep doing it and keep trying to do it. But it pisses me off that they seemingly nerf the one thing that closed the gap for the engineer class. Because every other class plays relatively well at a decent or a farther range. The engineer with the SMG is the only class that does not have range. He can hit targets at a distance, and if you're lucky and hit enough hits on target, you will get a kill. But it's a lot harder to do with an SMG versus a LMG, a assault rifle, a sniper rifle, a DMR, a carbine. And because of this, I always bridge the gap with the RPG, which apparently now I can't do. So hopefully they buff this in the future.